everybody, to another great episode of the Beyond Normal podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Groom. I have a very special guest. This is a full circle moment for me. My very first guest I had on the platform was a founder by the name of Domonique Boone. She is the founder of Leslie's Laundry Care. I'm excited to have you back, Dominique. I know this is different than the first time we had a connection, but I appreciate you coming on the platform. You've been working hard on a lot of things, so let's start out. Reintroduce yourself to our listeners. Tell them a little bit about Leslie's Laundry Care and what you've been building over the last couple of years.
Sure. So thank you for having me. My name is Dominique Boone. I am the owner and founder of Leslie's Laundry Care. We are a mobile laundry and dry cleaning service here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we just got our first brick and mortar Leslie's Cleaners, downtown Charlotte, 605 Baldwin Avenue.
Congrats on that. I've seen and I have used the service myself. I've seen the growth, like you mentioned, a delivery service, but I've used the locker system. Now it's exciting to see that you have a storefront. What does this growth mean to you to be able to grow your business from where we were first connecting, right? And you were doing the deliveries, and now you see where you're at now. What does that mean?
It's exciting. I mean, starting from just my mom's wash machine breaking to having a full business, successful business, sometimes I just have to pinch myself. You work so hard and you just really have to celebrate those wins when they come instead of looking at the next one. So, what I've been trying to do is just being intentional, taking every moment and realizing, hey, I work so hard. When I hit those milestones, celebrate those fast in the moment and continue to just check in.
I appreciate you breaking that down for us,
Mhm.
Dominique. Something really cool about your business is that Leslie is your daughter, right?
Yes.
And so I don't think a lot of business owners have used this cheat code. But in order for your business to mean something, a lot of times you have to make sure it connects with your actual life and then it has intrinsic value. Like it's easier to wake up every day.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about naming the business after Leslie and then what has she gotten from having a business named after her? Let's change it up a bit.
Okay. Well, I named the business after Leslie, just with the intention to create generational wealth. A lot of times in our community, we don't set anything up for our kids. I just had to really just sit there and understand that I can be the one to change what has been done for generations. And so in my mind, Leslie had to be about 6 months old when I started Leslie's Laundry, and she just been with me ever since. And it's just good to see the growth. Like she could be talking to her friends, acting like she on a Zoom call with her employees, and I see that she really understands what I'm doing. She sees the growth. She sees me working hard. But this year, I actually took the opportunity to say, I want her to see the grind and the hustle, but I also want her to see the rewards and understand that part of entrepreneurship. We all gonna grind, we gonna make money hand over fist. But I also want her to see what it can create for our family to be better.
Yeah, I love that. I have a 2-year old, as you know.
Yes.
Is it too early for me to start her doing things with my business? I want to get your opinion on that.
I mean, I think it's never too early. Like I said, Leslie was 6 months. Kids, what they
Hmm.
see is what they do. You can tell them things, but if you let her help you, maybe set up some things and she's a part of it, I think that she would cherish it more.
I appreciate that
Hmm.
feedback. One question, as I've looked for founders, obviously we're focusing local now. Like Charlotte is my home market. And so I'm trying to talk to as many founders as possible. Can't wait for you all to see all the amazing founders that we've been talking to. But that's actually one question I've been asking, every guest we have is, did you have some of these earlier experiences as a young person, right? As a kid with entrepreneurship, Leslie being an example of that now, right? Like if I were to ask Leslie that when she becomes an adult and probably runs this business or has multiple businesses, people are surprised. It may not necessarily be like we knew a CEO growing up, right? We knew somebody who was a CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but that hustle mentality, owning something, that's really in a lot of our DNA, like our genetic makeup,
Right.
like being a founder, owning something, embracing the grind. Like you said, it's cool to see Leslie on the front lines now. I've seen it firsthand. She really is not just the namesake of the business. She's willing to roll her sleeves up and figure out how to get the work done. I think Last time that we talked, with you being our first episode, we focused on consumer versus business, and you were trying to transition to more of the commercial clientele. Tell us a little bit about how that's gone and where you are at now in terms of growing your business. Is it more focused on that B2B that you were before, or is consumer still the play?
Well, we still service residential and commercial, but the goal for Leslie's Laundry Care is just to be a commercial. We're just to service commercial clients. Right now, we're probably about 75% commercial and
Mhm.
25% residential. With the residential clients, it's just hard to just get away because a lot of people that has built with me. And so those stories and it's just the trust. So I'm liking where I'm at right now with the 75-25 split. And I think also with the new space, it will allow me to service more residential walk-in, which will bring more revenue. So I've changed it over the years and it's pretty much it's working out right
Got
now.
it. No, that's good to hear. That split, like you said, it probably doesn't go to
Right.
100% for most businesses, either or.
Right.
And I'm really excited to see more Black founders embrace B2B.
Mhm.
I think there's tons of opportunity. I think you can make more money.
Mhm.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
You can tell me if I'm wrong, Dominique, but I feel like you can make more money um, more efficiently, I will say, versus I think consumer spending patterns, and consumers are rather needy. And so we like custom products and things like that. And so I think you go down that path a lot of times, B2C, but B2B, a lot of times we just want it done. And as long as you drop it off by a certain time, we don't even care. We don't even want to see you drop it off at times. Being a business owner myself, I definitely see the value in having other businesses that support me, and I just think there's tons of opportunity in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the commercial clients, it's a clear understanding on when you're gonna pick up the laundry, how many days a week. You don't have to deal with the residential, like, oh, I want starch, I want heavy starch.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't mind, but I'm just you don't want 300 people saying that to you opposed to having an order of 300 pounds. So
Yep.
more so,
I get
yes,
it.
it's more.
I get it. You touched on the new brick and mortar space. Congrats on that. What does that do for your business? Does that solve a challenge, or does it just enable growth?
Yes. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It establishes growth and it solved the problem that I had because when I launched the lockers, when COVID hit, I launched laundry lockers. I put them in Carolina Place Mall, North Lake Mall. I was able to process probably up to an additional 15 people laundry, residential laundry orders per day if the
Wow.
lockers were filled. And so one of the challenges that I ran into was where am I going to process the laundry? I don't have a space.
Mm.
And so I just really, for the past 2 years, just really been hustling, trying to figure out, okay, well, yes, you can put lockers in 10 different places. You could have 100 new customers, but you still need somewhere to process the laundry. So I really just had to nail in on my operations and just understand for laundry and also with dry cleaning, how it can be more beneficial and more efficient for myself and also the customer. And so literally I was asked to sit on the board for CVMSDC and I was sharing my journey to one of the representatives that was in corporate and they were like, "Hey, I have a laundromat downtown Charlotte." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" So it was just really
Wow.
how the connection was made and everything went through. I always tell people like share your story. You don't know who you're talking to. You don't know how they can help. If you tell them, "Hey, this is my next step," they
Mm.
might know somebody, they might have what you need. So just never be ashamed to share your journey because I think a lot of times where we're at, we're focused on where we're going, but where we're at, we need assistance to get where we're going. Share your journey to everyone you speak to, and it's also a chance to pitch every time you talk to somebody.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of pitching, like I feel like you and Leslie always come prepared. Like no matter where you're at, your company logo's present. Like you said, I'm pretty sure Leslie even has the elevator pitch down at this point. Like you both, if you're around somebody who's a potential investor in your business, you're willing to put that time in and just be ready. I'm curious for you've been really intentional about building community and networking. Specifically, I see the local stuff, right,
Yes.
in our conversation. So tell me a little bit about You just touched on it with the laundromat, but how have some of those local connections that you've made enabled you to grow your business?
Yeah, so we have Leslie's Laundry Care Foundation where we feed the homeless once a month socks and sandwiches, or we just provide a meal for about 100 homeless, unhoused neighbors. I think with the laundromat, we can do more with the community, and it's going to allow us to create senior programs, do life skills with teenagers, youth, even seniors, and just be able to grow within the community, feed the community, and just have access with health and also wellness. So we have a lot of big things coming. It's really going to be community focused because the Cherry neighborhood is one of the first Black neighborhoods in Charlotte that has
Mm.
something going on. And so we really just want to bring that back to the neighborhood. As we're working in the neighborhood, women are in their 60s. They're like, my mom used to bring me to this laundromat. And it's just the cultural aspect that I want to bring back to the Cherry neighborhood. And I'm ready to do
Yeah, that's dope.
it.
We both have been in the, you've been here your whole life. I've been in Charlotte, I feel like, for a pretty long time as well. Um, yeah, I think it's really important, like you said, certain neighborhoods need to keep that culture, keep that essence.
Yes.
We have a lot of people moving here who are not from here. That takes me back to the meme I'm seeing online where people are saying, stop moving to my city. Charlotte is at one of those spaces at a real turning point now. I actually saw a stat where it was like Atlanta has probably 3 or 4x the amount of people that Charlotte has, but Charlotte has, in terms of the land that's readily available for folks, like 2 to 3x Atlanta.
Wow.
It makes sense. Atlanta's rather dense, and then Charlotte has this sprawling opportunity to build and develop. We're seeing it every single day. There's stuff going up. I think Charlotte is one of those cities that's going to be like a good proof of concept for how do we build this vibrant city while taking care of the people who are from there. And so I appreciate you, the foundation. I was able to go out there, meals, and just like the education piece. I think that excites me a lot for the youth, and then for maybe even for seniors that are in the area, because I definitely see there's a lot of opportunity. With that, I'm pretty sure I'll figure out how to bring my family out, and then Leslie can maybe give my little one some tips on business 101.
Yep.
When it comes to the giving back and the things that you're doing in the community in Charlotte, what does that do for your business?
Well, with the give back piece, it's more fulfilling for me as an individual. But like you said, I'm not from Charlotte. I'm from Buffalo, New York. So
But you've been here
I've
how
been
long?
here. So I've been here since about 99, but I'm from Buffalo.
Oh, you still claim it.
And we moved down here with literally just the clothes on our back, and we stayed in a homeless shelter for a couple of days and moved into a house, and now we all own homes, my parents, my brother, and also myself. So when I just think about the aspect and the resources that we had when we moved here, it was really only the crisis ministry. And I think about how it just felt as a kid. So for me, it's just tapping into that market and saying, hey, I can be a resource for you. Whether you're unhoused or not, a lot of people just there's a need out here. And so I just want to be that central location that people can come and get some help. A lot of times people are ashamed. I'm sure my parents was ashamed having 2 kids and just trying to figure it out. But it worked out, you think long haul in the bigger picture. But in my heart, it's just the need, like just helping. Like, how can we help? We all can make money. But like, how can you help somebody that has less than, or just in a moment in their life where they may just need somebody to say, hey, I love you. Hey, you got this. Hey, keep your head up. A lot of the times we just move on about our lives and we don't even think maybe that person might need a hug today. Maybe I just need to say I love you, and it might just cure whatever you're thinking. So I just want to be that for the community however I can. And that's where Leslie's Laundry Care Foundation came about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I want to like touch on that for business owners in particular. Because like you said, they're managing their business. They're going through a lot. They probably need a hug some days. They probably need some other resources on other days. The business owners that you're talking to, because obviously you're really ingrained in our local economy, right? You talk to other founders, like what are they needing in terms of support right now? And the reason why I ask that is going back to B2B. I think that there's ways that businesses can be created to fill these gaps for some of the founders out there. So I'm curious, what are you hearing or in your own experience as you reflect what's needed to support founders at this time?
I think what's needed to support founders, especially Black founders, is capital. I think a lot of
Mm,
times, people just think you got it or you hustling or whatever. But if I feel like us founders have plans, we're ready to go, but we might not be our lifestyle, whatever, you might have student loan debt 300,000, but you can't get a loan. You
mhm,
might have just gone through a divorce. It just might be different circumstances that may allow where people don't have access to capital to go to the banks. So I think a lot of times, and then what I'm experiencing, even when I'm going to investors, are okay. Well, we want 70% of your company for $25,000, and it's like, well,
mm,
that's not even enough. It's not fair. That's not a
mm,
fair even evaluation of the company. So for me and other Black founders, I think capital will be the main one. But also, like you said, like being able to just pitch and clearly articulate your business and what you do quickly. A lot of the times we're unable to do that. And even the classes, I probably taken every class under the sun in Charlotte. Shout out to the city of Charlotte, but you're not taught how to pitch. And I think when you're going to these corporations, you have to be able to really articulate what you can do and what's the problem you can solve.
mm,
Because you may have a good product or you may have a good service, but if you can't tell them that, they're not going to hire you. And then just being ready. We might say, hey, I want to do business with Bank of America, but are you ready?
mhm.
And if you're not ready, can the person in the supplier diversity help you get ready? So I just think the connection piece. So to your point, capital, the resources to be able to pitch, but also the supplier diversity gap with minority businesses.
Yeah, I like that. You just gave me an idea. I need to have some supplier diversity folks
Yes,
on the platform.
absolutely.
Yeah, just because I think like what you were saying, like they're there to make sure there's some opportunities that are
Yes.
given, right?
Hmm.
And there needs to be some preparation. Like they need to kind of help us along that process a little bit
Absolutely.
at times. And so that's a good.
Hmm.
Thank you for
You're
that
welcome.
idea. What you give him, so much. You being our first
Yep.
guest and then coming back. I can tell the listeners as well, Dominique, we were recording some content before, and Dominique was like, yeah, man, like you need to have like a branded space, like it needs to elevate a little bit. And so that's why we're in this space here.
Yes,
I definitely appreciate you for giving me that motivation to keep going
absolutely.
because I'm pretty sure after that first episode, the quality of my product wasn't where I wanted it to be. The sound wasn't good. The video, I don't even know what I was wearing. It was in the middle of the pandemic. You were like,
Yes.
just keep going. And everything you really do, right? From the community work, even to your business, like that's a motivation for me. So I just want to say thank you
Yes,
for
absolutely.
all that you do.
Yes,
You
thank you.
and Leslie. Leslie's not here, but definitely her presence is always felt on the business.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. So, what is you've got a storefront, brick
Mhm.
and mortar.
Yes.
You've been growing your business. You got an even split B2B, B2C. Like you got that optimized. Like, what is the next growth opportunity for the business?
The next growth opportunity for the business will be growing my team. I
Mm.
feel like I've struggled with hiring because I hire family and friends.
Ooh.
Didn't quite work out. Can't go to the cookout. Nah.
Ah.
But hiring family and friends, they would just take advantage. But now I am just focusing on hiring quality people where I can keep them on for a year or two more
Mm-hmm.
so than contractors for 3 to 6 months. So
Got it.
just creating the longevity of a good quality team so I can do less and they can do more.
Yeah, I commend you for going the friends and family route. I definitely commend you.
Mhm.
And yeah, I definitely see that being a cool opportunity for you, having somebody full time
Mhm.
who's committed.
Yes.
I definitely think that helps business owners out for sure. Um, it's another challenge, right? Because then it's like you got to make sure you're rallying the troops and you've got the proper structure in place.
Mhm.
But that's just a part of growing your business, right? And
Right.
so that's a really cool one. There's so many businesses out there now we know where is sole proprietor, right? And then they're the one doing a lot of the work, which is okay. But then eventually you want to make sure like you got some people helping you to grow your business. And so that's a cool next step. Like that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm glad to see you focusing on that and looking forward to hearing about that as well. And then continuing to be a customer myself and supporting the brand. And that way, maybe getting out there in any of your drives, anything like that that you need support for, I'm always there from that perspective. I think that's you giving so much. I'm like, I don't want to ask Domonique for more. This is the first episode of our relaunch in a new space.
Yes.
New equipment. The space is looking good. It made sense to have you as my first guest for sure. And I'm just looking forward to continuing from that very first interaction that we had to continuing to highlighting Black founders specifically who are doing amazing things like you. But I appreciate you so much for being on the platform.
Of course. Thank you so much. And yeah, like you said, it was the middle of the pandemic. Everybody was figuring it out. And I'm just so proud to see your growth. So you keep going and the sky is the limit.
Yeah, it looks amazing, guys. Thanks to our listeners. Thanks to you, Domonique, for coming on. Everybody for tuning in to another great episode. Peace.